We're going to get into the UFC in a little bit, but starting off with the boxing, we had the WBO interim heavyweight champion Joseph Parker fighting against Fabio Wardley. In the hometown of Fabio Wardley, across the pond there in the UK, it was at the O2 in London, England. What a scene, what an atmosphere, what a fight. Now, you touched on it. We did the live stream. What a blast it was and fun over at the Ropes community. That's up on the YouTube channel. Anybody wants to take a look and see what you're missing from the Ropes community, if you join, you can member. You could be part of these Zooms. We're going to be doing a lot more of them coming up in the future for live streams. But getting to the fight, bud, you said in the lead up, your pick was for the Ropes members, and you talked about here on the podcast, Fabio Wardley.
Boy, oh boy, that makes this interesting for me. I love Parker. I'm friends with Parker. I love Andy Lee. I'm friends with Andy Lee. And I think Wardley has a shot. Again, Parker should be winning most of the rounds. He should be. Until, I'll leave the rest, kind of like they leave you in those TV series. Until next week, and you'll see the rest of it.
You said that we should think about the under as a hedge, 9.5 rounds, to protect yourself, because Wardley was in a war in his last fight. He took a lot of punishment versus Hooney. That was only 4 months ago. Would he be recovered from that? Would Parker look to jump on him early, and that would give you protection? And boy, that was spot on too. Parker jumped on him early. Parker hurt him in the first round. And the thinking was right. We moved to the second round, and the eraser of Wardley touches him. He hurts him. Maybe saved by the bell. Maybe saved by, was it smart move? Or did the mouthpiece just come out? Did Parker spit it out? Definitely bought himself some time there in the second round. Was able to recoup and then change the fight around. Parker was fighting, boxing, very smart, very patient. Was starting to, I thought, separate himself on the scorecards and taking a lead. I'd say around 6 rounds to 2 or so, I had it going into the 8th. And then the eraser comes back from Wardley. He hurts him big time in the 10th and finishes the job in the 11th. Beautiful right uppercut started it. There's some out there, bud. They're going to say, hey, a lot of those punches were missing. Parker was moving his head. Bad stoppage, early stoppage. Others will say, hey, he wasn't throwing back. He wasn't defending himself enough. Don't have an issue with the stoppage. I think those people are going to talk about it because where the fight was located, in the UK, backyard of Wardley. Anyway, I've said enough. What a fight. Congratulations to Wardley. 11th round knockout. He does it again. He might be in line now to fight Usyk next. Just want to get your takes on all of it and the great performance by not only you, but Fabio Wardley.
Yeah, listen, we made money for some people. We don't always do that. I know. I always take it both ways. You know, I give, I take. You have to. But the last few weeks, the last month, you know, going back to Crawford in a way to go to decision, yeah, we've been making some money for some people out there, and it's always a risky thing. It's called gambling for a reason. It's a gamble, and we always ask you to be responsible. And you know, I just feel good that we were on the right side of it, but I feel good that boxing, the sport and the fans were on the right side of a great fight. See, that's what I feel good about, because that's what lasts. That's most important. I've been in the business 50 years. That's most important, that boxing was on the right side. They won. Yeah. They won. The fans won. We all won. When the underdog wins, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because it gives hope to people out there that are the underdog in life. They're not the biggest. They're not the fastest. They're not the swiftest in certain areas. They're not the most gifted as far as genetics from their parents, maybe, and all those different things. And it reminds them that you don't always have to be the favorite in this fight called life. You don't always have to be the favorite. You can be the underdog, and you can be the winner. And it's great. It's great. It reminds people, never give up. Never give up. It reminds people that, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. You could be the underdog, and you could be the champion. And it was great. So I'm going to start in the back, and then I'll work to the front. And, excuse me, what I mean by that is this. Yeah, I'm the first to say it. I was on the winning side of it, and I love Parker. It was hard for me to go against him because I love him and Andy Lee, and I know them, and we've spent time together, and they're great people. I don't know Wardley the way I know them, but I can see Wardley's a great guy too. But, yeah, if you want to make an argument that there's controversy in the air, there was magic in the air in the UK. Magic. Magic for Wardley. Magic. But if you want to say there was controversy left in the air, where he had his hands up, he being Parker, he was seeing the punches, he was dealing with them. Yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt. He was hurt early in the fight too, but he recovered. But maybe he got a little help for the mouthpiece coming out and the referee giving him time to recover because he was retrieving the mouthpiece, washing it out, all of that. But that's faith. That's fate. That's fate. That's destiny. That's just things that you got to ride with it. What's meant to be is going to be. And that was part of the destiny. We didn't know it at the time, but part of the fate, the destiny of, in the air, of the magic of the night for Wardley. It was just part of it. We didn't know yet. We didn't know how it was going to play out. That's the great thing about these fights. It's like reading a great novel. You don't know what the next page is going to bring. You don't know what the next paragraph is going to bring. You just don't know. And you got to hang around to find out. And so, yes, Teddy Atlas standing here had the right side of it. But yes, maybe you could make an argument it was stopped too soon. You could say, but he was hurt. You could say that, you could ask the question. I ask it all the time. If Parker is the one from the UK, instead of the guy that is the outsider, if Parker was the UK favorite son, would the ref have stopped it? If Wardley wasn't from the UK, would the ref have stopped it? I don't know. It's a question that unfortunately this sport begs to ask sometimes. It begs to ask because of the history of this sport. So you don't know, but I'm not taking nothing away from the heart and the resiliency of both fighters and of Wardley. I'm not doing that. I can't. I refuse to do it. Even if I had picked Parker to win, which I didn't. But even if I did, I couldn't do that. Because he earned the right to not have that done by the way he behaved. They always talk about fighting like a champ, but you have to behave like a champ. Wardley did that. He did that. So he earned the right not to be questioned because he did what he could control, what he had to do. He was hurt several times and he survived it. Now, again, was Parker, Parker showed an unbelievable chin throughout the night. So did Wardley. Wow. Both of them. Just gratted chins. And more importantly, gratted wills. Just ungiving wills. Wills that just refused to be defeated. Refused to be conquered. Having said all of that I can't argue with you if you want to say that it was questionable about the referee. And you saw Parker. He's a sincere guy. He's not a phony guy. He's a real tough guy. He's the real deal. He's the real article. They both are. He didn't put a big show on but he just like shoved at the ref and looked at him like, I know what I'm doing here. Like I'm doing what a fighter has to do sometimes. I'm weathering a storm. And you're not allowing me to. Having said that, the reason I picked Wardley to win the fight, first of all, I didn't want to be wrong twice. I went against him in the Honey fight, and man, I thought I had a winner. He was a big underdog. Excuse me. Honey was a huge Hooney was a huge underdog. Huge. And man, he was winning every second of every round going into the 10th. Every second of every round. But then the magic, the eraser. But why was that eraser able to be used? Two reasons. One, and I talked about it, the resiliency, the heart of Wardley to have withstood what he withstood, to use that eraser in the 10th round, where a lot of other guys wouldn't have withstood it. They wouldn't have still been standing after all that punishment. A little bit like the great George Foreman with Michael Moorer. Yeah, he landed that eraser with the right hand in the 10th round. We won every second of every darn round in that fight. But like they say in that movie, The Gambler, hey, Charlie, we don't pay off at halftime. Yeah, baby, we don't pay off at halftime. We don't. And sure enough, Foreman landed that magical right hand. He blinded my fighter with the jab, landed the right hand. He never saw it coming. Impossible Dream started ringing out on the PA system. To dream, the impossible dream, to fight. It used to be my favorite song. I hate it now. Hate it.
Me and you both. I used to love that Luther Vandross song.
I used to love it, and now not so much. But I love George Foreman, and God bless him. And the thing wasn't the right hand and the power and the blinding jab. The thing about that fight was he was willing to suffer. He was willing to be punished. He was tough enough, resilient enough for 10 rounds to take what he had to take, Foreman, and then deliver that punch. Same thing. Same thing, people. Give credit to Wardley. He was resilient enough, tough enough, game enough, willing enough, determined enough, driven enough to be there after all the punishment he took all night, losing the fight, behind in a fight, to come back and land that. And the other reason I picked him because of his character, I picked him because of the eraser, and I believe in magic. Yeah, I believe in real things. I believe in definitive things. Nobody does more than me, but I believe in magic too. And I said it to all of you when I was handicapping this fight last week and when I picked Wardley at the end of the day. I said, don't discount the magic. In that arena at the UK, the greatest fans in the world. They have more history than any other fans. I love all the fans, but there's no denying it. No fans have more history with this sport that goes back further than the English. No. So I didn't discount it. I said the magic in the air, in the UK, in the O2 Arena, with their favorite son, Wardley, that magic is going to be there. And sure enough. And the other thing I talked about when I made the pick, he had the eraser. He was athletic. He was big, he was athletic, he was game, he was resilient, and he had a delivery system. It wasn't, Cus D'Amato used to say, Teddy, you're going to be a great trainer? I'm going to try. Well, listen, you got a guy with power, you improve his power the best you can. But it's not enough just to have power. You got to give him a delivery system. Because punching power without a delivery system is like having a bomb without a way to convey the bomb to the target. You have to have a missile to convey the bomb to the target. Otherwise, what good is it? It's going to blow up and make a big hole in the ground. And then when it rains, you could go swimming. That's what Cus used to say to me. So I say, I got you, Cus. You got to give your fighters a delivery system. Wardley had a delivery system. Straight right hand, off the counter. He'd make you miss a little bit, make you reach a little bit, step back, set a trap. He would throw it at the right time. So give him credit for that too. And give his people credit. I know during the live broadcast, I would say we need more teachers. We do. But, and I was saying that sometimes Wardley was slipping to the right too much. Where when you slip to the right, you're still in the lane of the right hand. If you slip to the left, you make the right hand miss, and you can counter with the left hook. So I was saying he should have done more of that. But he was making the right hand miss for the most part. He was slipping over there. He couldn't answer back right away sometimes. But he was slipping over there, but he was surviving the right hand. And he was even trying to do a cheaper version of the Mayweather shoulder roll. Like try to, give him in the shoulder and turn a little bit. And he was doing a little bit of everything. The main thing was he was avoiding the big shots. That's all that mattered. And his corner did a good job. His corner, here's what they did. Ben Davidson, all of them. But the people that have been there with him from the beginning, give them credit. Make them the trainer of the year. I mean this. Make them the trainer of the year. I'll tell you why. They took a guy. Yeah, he was athletic. I think he was a rugby player. Yeah, he's athletic. He's got good genetics. But so what? I've seen a lot of guys that are athletic have good genetics. They don't become heavyweight champion of the world without amateur experience, without background, without that pedigree. This is a guy that was like a white-collar boxer. Are you out of your mind? Are you kidding me? And he goes and gets to this level. He gets to this level. Give his people trainer of the year. Give them credit for taking, a good piece of clay. A good piece of clay. A clay that you could make into a masterpiece. But you still have to mold that clay. You still have to form that clay. You still got to move that clay around to become that masterpiece. They did that. Give them credit. At the end of the day, give Parker credit. Give everybody credit. That was a great night for boxing. I mean, Parker, I said going in, you better not make a mistake. You got to fight a night where you box, you're the more developed fighter, you have the better resume, obviously, with who you've been in there, with your experience, with your development. Wardley's still a work in progress, and he still is. He still is. But Parker was more developed in technical areas, in all areas. And what did he have to do? There's a reason why he was a big favorite. What did he have to do? He had to box. He had to use his jab. They were both using their jabs, very important. Had to use the jab. He had to set up the right hand with the jab, which he was doing. And he had to make sure of not making mistakes, not reaching in, not giving opportunities for Wardley to land the eraser, to clean up all the mistakes Wardley made all night with one punch, with the eraser. He had to make sure of that. And he had to be a piranha. I said that during the live broadcast, right, bud? I said, he's got to take little chunks. Don't be a shark. Don't take one big bite. Take just little bites all night long. Because if you try to be a shark, you might get harpooned. You might stay there a little too long. And it was contingent on Parker, with the advantage in all these areas, to box that disciplined fight. Jab, give angles a little bit, pick spots. But the one thing I thought, and I don't want to knock anyone in this fight. Why? How can you? But the one thing, I thought he might have stood in front a little bit too much. Maybe could have given a little more angles. And I know it's easy to say afterwards. It is. But I said it before the fight too. If you look at the breakdown. And we wrote it up. And we put it out there for everybody to see. We don't hide nothing. Where maybe he gives him angles. He slices to the side. He doesn't stand in front of that big punch. And then one last thing I'll say is this. During the broadcast, the live stream, I kept saying, there's two punches here. Two punches. The jab and the right hand. Both guys are looking for it. Wardley's looking to have more space. where he's got a little space with two things happen. He can use his length. He can use his height and his length where he can use his jab at space, and he can leave enough space for Parker maybe to make mistakes where he can land that big eraser. And Parker was looking to close the gap a little bit, and you could see he had the advantage on the inside because Wardley was doing more grabbing on the inside, and where Parker has a little advantage. I thought Parker could have maybe taken advantage when Wardley was looking to grab. Maybe Parker could have done a little something and not allowed him to grab. And maybe done a little something in those spots. But the other thing that I said during a live broadcast was this, and I said it early. The uppercut is going to show itself. The uppercut is going to be a difference in this fight. The uppercut is going to be a big part of this fight. The uppercut for Wardley, because Parker was leaning forward on the inside. And sure enough, the uppercut showed itself. It was a big part of the night and the victory for the underdog, the Magic Man, the UK Man. Wardley, what a fight.